It's the final hour of trading for the first day of September. Welcome back to the close. Here's a look at how things stand at this point. Positive for the S&P 500. The NASDAQ as well leading the way. A little red there for the Dow at this point. That is not an indication of the size of moves we're getting in some of these highly shorted stocks, guys. Let's get into the last hour of the day.
All right, well, welcome to the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube, and I'm here with my man Arun. Thank you so much, Brendan, for introing that. There's been some big trades happening, obviously, this afternoon, including Vinco Ventures, BBIG. That's going to be the trade of the day. We'll talk about what we did there. It was a negative one for me early on, but we're going to describe how we traded that. Lots of other things. FCUV, I believe it was. Is that what it is? FCUV, right? Another one, Focus going crazy as well. And we got a nice little trade there on ABV.
ABV, the big dog. Both of us had long, but I had 111. This guy had 107, which is right near the bottom. So quite the ride on ABV. For anyone who hasn't seen the chart, this is what it looks like. It was pretty much, it fell from 120 all the way down to 107 and change, and then bounced right back up. You see me long here. Sean's arrow would be somewhere down here in the 107s. And both of us, I believe, took some profit on the way out and are out just below 112. I mean, that was a trade. For anyone who's watching ABV in the afternoon, you had that snapback potential, and there's one trade there, and that made some money. And me personally, I'm still in Disney. I got a long on Disney just above 184, waiting for this to kind of break out a little bit. It's kind of going sideways, no surprise, I guess. But Disney going sideways, and BEKE, I'm long just above 20.5, and that thing has gone nowhere. Maybe up 15, 20 cents and back down. So we are waiting to see if we can actually make some money on BEKE. Futures, let's check back in on the futures. Futures off that 34, 35 area, which would put us near the top end of the range. And here we are back into support. There are 45, 25 and change. Again, I'm not going to do a whole lot. There was possibility of a long at 30. But it all depends on how it trades and how it comes back. The fact that we went up to 34 and then came back down makes me think, well, this could potentially cause a rebound, or not a rebound, like a sell off the midpoint, mid-30s, and back into the 30s. So if we come back in, I need to find somewhat of a support to go for the long. I never got it, moved out of the way, and here we are back down at 25. If there's now a setup down in the mid-20s to low 20s, like we've been looking in the morning, there could be a potential late session move. But for now, though, I think we're just going to hold on to the two longs that I've got. Futures, nothing on board just yet, but we are looking at potential support. We are coming into it, so there might be something. If there's anything in the chat, or if there are any symbols that you guys see that are moving or setting up well, put them in the chat. I'll take a look, see if we can get some trades before the day closes out.
You know, let's act like Tyron Woodley here and say, let's run it back. So let's run it back here with BBIG. He wants to fight Jake Paul again, but it's not going to happen until he gets that tattoo. Apparently, I love Jake Paul all over him. And okay, so let's run this back. Let's do BBIG again. If BBIG breaks this 920, 925 area right here, we had some support back here, consolidation. You can see what's happening right now. We're consolidating. We want to go long, so let's run it back. Let's take this again. If it goes through 920, 920, I put my bid at 926. So if it rips through 926, we'll get long at that point, and we'll see what happens to the upside. I believe if we can break through here, some of this consolidation, then we move to the upside right now, and we'll see what we can do. I mean, breaking view up is going to be nothing at that point. We'll see if we can't run that to 980 or so. So we'll see if we can make a quick 50 cents on BBIG to close. Remember, Arun and I, we are trading physical equity and or futures contracts, but we are not trading options. We are not trading CFDs, anything. Yeah, exactly. So this is the real deal. So when you're seeing us showing you the prices on the level, I mean, this is level 2 access right here, guys. I mean, these are all the gateways, IEX, NASDAQ, everybody's on here, ARCA. I mean, there's everybody here. These are real markets with real volume, 278 million shares. And guess what? We're participating in that today with BBIG. So we'll look at that for sure if it goes there. I mean, it needs to break certain levels or I'm not going to touch it, right? We did write it on our, it's crazy because it's support, SPRT, another name here today. And we did have it on here on our sticky note. Let me see where I complained about my charts, but nobody seems to care. Like they do care, but now it's frozen. So we'll have to look at support. When I get back, I'm going to throw it to you, Arun, and I'm going to log back in and try to fix this problem.
Yeah, absolutely. No problems there. I just looked up and somebody said Citigroup. I'm like, yes, Citi. I was actually looking at Citi earlier in the day, and I added to my list of stocks. Again, I trade. If you see me trade, a lot of the names I will be in position on are some of the bigger names, the bigger caps. And Citi's a part of that, especially with WFC and the moving the way it has. Actually, before I go with Citi, let's take a quick look at WFC because people need to see this chart. Given how it traded yesterday, and it was an aggressive move yesterday, you saw that from 48.80 all the way down to 45.80 and change, all the way down to 44.40, 45.40 and change. Then we went sideways for a little bit, and I was looking for the breakdown through 45. It's weird. I thought I had set the alert out. I guess I didn't. But it broke through 45, and it was just a continuation of yesterday's move. If you're looking for a multi-day move, if you get a move like this based on news, and then we just go sideways going into the open, and we break down, I would expect another leg to the downside, and that's exactly what you got. So when I saw this chart, I'm like, I want to see how the other banks are doing. So I pulled up Citigroup, and I added that to my list. And of course, there's a bad tick on this chart. So there you go. It is breaking down. Citigroup is actually flirting with that 71.50 area. It's been working this area for a while now. Yesterday morning, this morning, and then this afternoon, we kind of spent some time around that 71.50. Finally, we're well underneath it. If this can sustain this kind of price into the end of the day, I would come into tomorrow looking for potential shorts in the 40 to 50 area on Citigroup with a stop just above 75 to 80. So just be aware, Citigroup is setting up for a potential trade for tomorrow, not yet today. Brendan, what's up?
A couple of things to note this afternoon, guys. Twitter is still trying to make new highs here. They were talking about introducing their new paid subscription service coming up both in the U.S. and Canada very, very shortly. Also, Tesla trying to bounce here. I'll show you in a second, but came off in a hurry there. The New York Times reporting they were forced to turn over some of the autopilot data to Federal Safety Agency. Was trying to bounce. Here we go back to the downside, but you can see that news story came out about there, and we went from 738 down to 732, but Tesla trying to go negative again.
All right.
Tesla's going negative because you know what the futures are doing? They're also going down to day lows. It looks like it's going to be intraday lows are sitting just above 21.75 to be exact, and we just got to 22.75 it looks like. So futures going to the downside as well. We're still in support zone, so I'm not going to go after any shorts just yet. We are looking at 45.10 as our support point. But it does look like futures wants to move to the downside. And you know what stock? When the futures go, you know what stock we have to look at? Apple. We have to look at Apple because you know how Apple trades. It is a big portion of the index. And of course, Apple comes off that 154 area. We were long here off the 153 break, and we got out, stopped out, by the way, below 154. It got as high as 154.70 something, and then we got stopped out below 154 and then made another move up to 155. And when that failed and 154 broke, well, I think at that point, shorts were on board. I didn't see it. I stopped looking at Apple. I like to make multi-day plays on Apple, not necessarily intraday, but if you were looking for intraday, you saw that 154 move go, and here we are at 152.80 and change, coming into support now. At the same time, the Apple's coming into support. You see futures as well. We're maintaining some bids here in that 23, 24 area. That is support as well. Just be aware that if we were to bounce back up to 30, this kind of changes the game a little bit. But given how the market's moving at this moment in time, it does look like it wants to head a little bit lower. It's okay though. We have support down at 20 and into the 18. So it has some space to move to the downside before we catch a real bid. But for now, though, Apple going. Citigroup is taking off to, I just saw Citi down at 25, 26. When I was talking about it, it was sitting at like 30 something, and now it's at 26. 10 cents is a pretty big deal for some big names like Citigroup itself. And what is it moving? Oh, no, not Disney. I thought Disney was going to, but no.
Shit.
Oh, Sean's still working his charts there.
Oh, no.
And
there we
SPRT.
go. It's okay. I got it back.
Let's take a look at SPRT.
Yeah, I can take SPRT. I actually want to talk about that quickly here because we talked about that early right here, guys. Giving it all back, we should be able to catch a 25 break to the low. This was on our tweet this morning at 8:30. I just got it off just as we went on the air there. But, okay, come on, let's go. Yeah, my computer is really having some problems. And then this is a 7-minute thing. So what chart? So why did we want to talk about support? Breaking through 25. We just went back and tried to find some levels here. And I mean, this is after market, but you could see we resisted right there. A big move back down after one of its craziest days, up to $58 back on the 27th. And then you're going to come right back in here, and it's touched out at 25.50 or so. There was some kind of support, and we're talking about support when this is this name of the company. But so that 25 break just did happen, not even too long ago, and there it is, man. It's a great level. I'm surprised we picked it so well there. But again, it didn't drop as much as I thought, only down to 23.50. But there's the 25 level. So to me, if we can get back above 25, that's where we would think about taking this as a long on SPRT. So I just wanted to talk about that quickly. I mean, even I'm almost like this 25.50. Let's call it. Let's wait. Let's wait till 25.50 right here on support. If that can come through, then we will take that. We'll take that into the long there. Look at Wish, man. Wish was a stock that we took early on this morning. Not early, but as we were sort of 10.50 or so. We took it on this first break. It breaks above that 750 level, and then 740. We take that, then we run this to the high side, get out the best at 757. It goes all the way to 775, and now we're all the way back down. So Wish, we did take it out. We're holding that 20% left. Doesn't look like it wants to go, but that was a trade that we were very, very interested in early. Was Wish. It does make all of our wishes come true, but we don't take advantage of that. Up to 775 there on WISH Context Logic. Let's have a quick look here on a stock that is my worst stock today. And I will talk about AbbVie a little bit here as well, because that was a big one, man. ABBV, I'll show you exactly. It's almost embarrassing, the tick there, because we were sitting here watching it, and I didn't even notice it until it started to explode to the downside. But there we go, LCID Lucid. We were short initially. We liked it short. It rips all the way down. I mean, we were $1.20 in the money, and life was good. And then the market opened, and all of this green, like what I've learned here is this, this crazy buy action off the open should have made me stop putting in all these shorts, right? But we kept doing it, and some winners in here, some losers. Nothing too crazy, but again, it's a losing stock for me today, and we will try to go short if it does break through here. 1763 coming through on Lucid. That's going to be a level that we're looking for. So BBIG, we have a couple levels we just gave you. Oops, that's not BBIG, that's AMC. That's a good one. $9. Wish, we're looking at that one. Lucid, we like a short if it can break through 1760 right there. And then the other one was FCUV. We'll talk about that in a minute. What's up, Brando?
Sequential brands moving again here, guys. That SQBG big mover from the morning. Also, while we were away, both Workhorse and Ride getting hit a little bit. The SEC officially opening a probe into Workhorse. You can see coming back to day lows here, guys, for Workhorse. Down better part of 4% on that one.
All right, just an update. I've closed out my BEKE position. At this point, if we can't hold any strength here above 20.5, this is what I'm expecting. We kind of failed on the first move. We're starting to look like we're going to fail on the second. I can walk away from this. I made like 5 or 6 cents. BEKE, we'll take it. We'll walk away. No point in holding this stock. It doesn't do a whole lot of all. It's done 26 million shares today, which is really surprising, but it's also up from a low of 17 even. So you see quite the move that we've been having in this stock for today. But let's go back to SQBG, as Brendan mentioned. Man, this was on the radar earlier. It was in the chat. I saw this, and we were looking at it, and it was just absolutely going nuts. And here we are looking at 950. We put this 950 high in, it looks like, around about 11:30 or so. 11:30 Eastern time would correspond to the European close. Obviously, I automatically think at certain times, I know certain market events happen. 11:30 is the European close, but at the same time, I also know some of these stocks don't really care. But it's interestingly enough, 11:30 is when we put in the high. So if we take a late session push, we'll take out those highs, which may have a lot more volume related to them than you would expect. So you see this hesitation around 9 all the way up to 950. If we can take 950, then you automatically have the ability to go long with the 850 stop. And if you get stopped out, then it probably was a false breakout, right? So we'll just leave it be. But keep an eye on SQBG at 950. If they take out the day highs, you might get a run on stops, especially trying to push this thing back up. We'll talk about some losers. We had some winners. We'll talk about some losers. My biggest loser was Square. I took this position as we were going into the end of the day, end of the show. And It was 272 long, it was 270 stop, and after I got in, it went off, it came back a little bit, like 75, 80, 90 cents, and then we went through the high into the 273s, and then failed again. And I had a chance to get out at 272.50. I'm like, nah, you know what? I think this has more. I'll give it the opportunity to trade. Well, you see what happens. It came right through, back down through 270, and that's my biggest loser for the day on Square. Brendan?
Not typically a favorite when it comes to intraday trading type of stocks, but Autodesk, guys, ADSK just had a huge move downside, 314 to 304, $10 straight downside. Apparently there's a investor day on right now, so something must have just been said at that investor day, ADSK.
All right, let's take a quick look
at what
level one looks like.
AMC as well. Yeah,
40 cent spread on Autodesk.
It's
not a whole lot
stock.
of shares. It's a $300 stock with 1.6 million shares. So yeah, I think this is understandable at why it's able to move from 314 to 304. Because you know what? Bids drop off. It doesn't take a whole lot of volume to bring this thing down $10.
No, good call there. Good. Thank you guys for the look there on Autodesk, Brendan. I did want to talk about AMC quickly here because we hit the long early, made some money, gave it back, flat on the stock now. We got out there, tried to defend this 42.50 area right here. 45.20 area right there. As it's going to blast back through. We thought maybe we could hold that. We did not hold it. Comes all the way back down. We get out when it breaks through 45. So we took about a 25 cent worth of risk there. Nothing on AMC, but then we only made 25, 50 cents on this play. So basically a flat trade. I mean, whatever. If we're up, but it's nothing to write home about. So right now I'm looking at this right here, 44.10, 44.08, something like that. If we could break through back here, let's see AMC work its way back up to VWAP here, down 7%. It's not a lot. I mean, you know, you've seen over the last this is a 7-minute chart. So the last couple days, you know, each one of these a day down here, you're going to see AMC's already made some nice bottoms down here at $40. So if we can retest that, I think that's going to be a long for a longer term. But for right now today, as you can see, bunched up right now, some consolidation. So let's see if it rips up upside. I don't think there's that much risk in this trade. If we do take it and it gets upside, then we can always just hold it back down maybe $1 or something like that. I think the worth it to get back to VWAP and then back into this area at least 45, 20, something like that on a break to the upside. But it has to happen first. So we'll wait for that for now and see if that does come through. Everything else not really moving. Wish is starting to go back upside. People want to talk about SoFi. I don't really know why. SoFi is not really moving too much. Let's see what it's doing today. And again, we have to wait for my charts to change because again, for some reason it thinks that it's an NY stock. I switch it and now I wait a couple more minutes here. The frustration. SoFi up 3% right now, 7-minute chart. Again, nice little move upside here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we can get some dip buys here. This was a great break if anyone had this, 14.30, something like that on this downside, boom, to the upside, that's 30 cents. But again, on a daily chart, SoFi is still trying to get out of its way. I cannot recommend buying SoFi. I mean, I may add to my position here. I'm stuck up here somewhere, 18 right in here, 18, but we'll wait to see if he can break above 15. That's when I think it's full throttle. I mean, that could happen tomorrow. So we'll wait to see if SoFi gets above this area, making a nice bottom, consolidating pretty good. And we'll see about a 15 break, but I'm not, I can't recommend it until we get to that level there, guys. I mean, BBIG's coming to the downside. Palantir's basically just flat today. Alibaba continues to go. Alibaba up. There it is. Let's go Alibaba here. Up nicely today. Obviously 3 and a bit percent, almost 4% upside for Alibaba. Oh, just crossed over 4% right now. 173.75. Okay, I don't, you know what? I mean, this computer is basically going to get kicked in the face very, very soon because this is like, because everything keeps freezing.
Fun times for Sean and his computer. We'll take a quick look at some index names. All right, we saw the move off the futures. We were down near the lows around 22.5, 22, 23 even, and here we are at 27. So a quick 5-6 point bounce, 4 or 5 point bounce on the futures. So what does that mean? Well, when the futures bounce like that, let's take a quick look at what the index stocks are doing. First up on deck is going to be Apple. Oh, okay, Apple finding support. It is sitting at support in that 153 area, so it's going to help the futures. Remember, Apple has the largest weighting in the indexes. And then we'll take the second largest, Microsoft. And Microsoft, where's Microsoft sitting? Near day lows, mid-range. 302 would have been the support, but we're sitting at what, 302.50 and change, trying to move back up. There's some resistance there. So Microsoft may not be as much of a help to the futures as you would hope for. And one of the other index names that I'm seeing in well, I'm not seeing it, but like in the chat that people want to ask about is Facebook. Well, you see Facebook, right? We take out 383. That would have been the high from yesterday. And we kind of resisted around 382, 382.5 this morning. And we finally got our way up to 384. So on the way back down, this level had to hold. If you were going to catch some support, you could have easily gotten a bounce back up towards the highs. But the fact that we were not able to hold, or we were able to hold this and not able to break it, provides some safety for going long on the futures, right? So Apple has support, Facebook has support inside this 382.5 area. And here we are at 383.5, sitting $1 away from a high. So I would imagine Facebook is going to help the situation, especially with futures being at support in the mid-20s. That helps the situation, right? So one of the other stocks, you know what? Since Sean's computer is off, I'm just going to go through the chat. And we're going to go talk about Chewy just because, you know, Chewy was one of those names that we talked about before. And Chewy did something interesting. Chewy actually put in a new low and bounced right back up. Is Chewy New York? No, it is. No, it is New York. Okay. So Chewy, the fact that it actually bounced through 87 and then couldn't sustain that low and bounce back in, I keep an eye on this stock and see how it trades into 88 because there is a lot happening here. And if they can't maintain that 88 level, if they can get above and call this support, then I think we have a chance to keep on going up. But if they can't get back into the 88s, you may see a break through the bottom on Chewy, and this may extend to the downside. Brendan?
A couple of things. Keep in mind for Chewy Arun, earnings aftermarket tonight for Chewy. So there's a catalyst there. Big Five Sporting Goods, I believe it is, BGFV, just popping up here at day highs, just broke $30 even on huge volume there, trying to get back into a bit of a range here on the daily chart. But that one's running. There was also some NFT-related stocks also pushing towards day highs. Playboy, one of those, PLBY. Arun.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to one of the, well, I got to go back to talking about one of the positions I have is Disney, right? That's the only position I've got. I don't have the futures trade just yet. I'm still waiting. I may still take it, actually. Going into the end of the day, I may go after a long right at the end of the day on the futures. But for now, Disney, okay. Disney bouncing off of this like 70 area. I can tighten up the stop on this at this point. The fact that I've only got about 40 minutes left and this stock refuses to go down, even though it has every opportunity to, the fact that it can bounce off 84, go down to 83.5, then come back up, leak a little bit and go right back up, tells me that this stop, at this point, I can tighten up the stop on this because if it were to break 83.50 at this late in the day, I'm probably not going to make money on this trade anyways. There's no chance it's going to just get me out and come back up. So, well, I guess there's always a chance, but highly unlikely that this were to break 83.50 and come right back up going into what, half an hour before imbalances come out, and Disney tends to have an imbalance? Yeah, okay, well, we can tighten up the stop. Right now, the stop on this is about 70 cents or so. I can tighten that up to maybe 50. So we're along 184.06, and we're sitting just underneath 184. So, you know, this may end up being a scratch trade going into the end of the day. And mRNA, yeah. Oh man, I was talking about mRNA earlier today. I was looking at mRNA and I was like marking off levels. I'm like, oh, you know what? This may be worth it at certain prices, specifically around the low 80s with the 377 stop. They went right through it, so I kind of stopped looking at it. But once they took 385, man, once they took 385, the next stop on this was 390. But the thing with this is, what do you do for risk, right? It's like 380 even. You have to put up 5 to get 5, which typically I would do, but on a $300 stock, I don't know if I'm going to be willing to put up 5 to get 5. But as you can see, that would have paid off well, because if you were long 385, clearly you could have gotten at least 390 and then even 395 on the top end. So Moderna definitely starting to move out of the box here. Keep an eye on the chart. We finally cleared this little 380 zone, and now that we're out of it, there might be a trade. Again, some of these trades we're going to have to mark off for another day, and someone just said FCUV is on the halt to the downside. Oh, okay. So FCUV is one of those stocks that obviously Sean and I were both trading. I was trading it early on. I was trading here around the 13, 14, catching a halt, getting out some in front of 15, and then I think when it came down, I got out. And then after I got out, it just started going up, halting all the way up to 24. And once it got up into the 24s and crashed back down, and we couldn't get shorts on it, I looked for shorts, and I was actually willing to pay for shorts. The fact that I can't get shorts, even though when I want to and I'm willing to pay for it, at that point I'm just like, you know what, I can only really play the downside from that point on. So I just kind of moved away from it. And it's still going, I don't even know what it's doing at this point. It's going up to 23, halting down to 20, going down to 16, halting back up. At this point, if you're going to trade it, be careful. That's all I can say. Brendan?
WFC, guys, remember yesterday had a huge move down. I was just noticing there was absolutely no bounce whatsoever in this thing today. We did get a volume spike there as it made day lows, but we are trying to hold a little bit higher here, 43.40, a little bit of volume coming in, but this thing has just been demolished over the past couple of days, pushing 10% for one of the banks, guys.
All right.
All right, we're back. We're back. I can
Sean's
take it
back.
here.
What did I do to his computer? I don't know.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, so AMC there does come to the upside right here, and thank you to Arun for covering again, like Omen's work, man. And all right, so now we're gonna see AMC does take that level out. It's almost like it ran stops again on us. So not that happened on AMC before, but there it is. It takes that out. That's the level that we wanted. This. I mean, maybe it was a little bit. I should have zoomed in a little bit closer because it really should have been 44.06 or so, but instead we did wait for that 44.12. Not that it matters. That's where we're long right now, 44.12. And look, I don't want to hold this one for too long. I was going to give it all the way back to the bottom of the room, but I don't think that that's going to be a very good play for me to do that. I don't really want to be bouncing around on this. I'd rather just wait to see if it's either going to go or it's not. So I mean, I'm going to give it back down to here, 43.70 or so on this bottom. That's probably where we're going to put our. That is where we'll put our offer. We'll see if we can get out. But I do expect this to get up, try to test at least 45. I mean, there is a little bit of a stop area here at 45.50, which doesn't surprise me at all. So maybe we'll put an offer there. If we're lucky enough to get that, that'd be fantastic. So that's a trade that we are looking for right now. 44.50 to get out a part of it, and then we'll take the rest out, hopefully, in the VWAP, or if we can get up here to 45. So, hey, we like the trade. We're long AMC. And the thing that always works when we're long AMC is we got to hit this guy. If we can hit this, ape, that's the key. That's going to get this running through. So let's go Ape Nation and trade this thing through here on AMC and see if we can't get a little bit of a winner to go here. So 44, we're going to put an offer at 44.50 and see if we can get that fill. Sorry to interrupt you there, Arun, but I just wanted to talk about AMC because I know it was a stock that our viewers are looking at as well.
Yeah, no worries. I'm actually just going ahead and adding some stocks to my list for tomorrow. That could potentially be setting up. One of the names that we've traded quite often here is SAVA.
Yeah.
SAVA, I'm looking at SAVA. I've had actually SAVA marked off for a few days now. And I'm looking at, again, highly unlikely this happens today. I'm looking at 48 even on SAVA. If we break to the downside, after doing what it's done today, kind of just going sideways around the support zone around 52, I think I wouldn't even trust the 50 break, just because if you were to go back, they don't have it here, but if you were to, yeah, they do actually, 27th. If you were to go back, there's about action around 49 and change. If they were to get through that, I imagine there's going to be some stops. I want to make sure that if I go to short, it's not going to be just because I'm getting in on stops, right? I want to make sure there's some actual selling happening through the market before I go short. So I'm looking at 48 even on SAVA. If we get that breakdown, there might be a shot. Another trade, again, all these stocks, well, not all of them, but a majority of them I am pulling from the chat, right? Fastly was another name that was put up in the chat today. I looked at the chart. Okay, we're starting to kind of work a little bit here on Fastly. If we can break down through 43.10, 43.20, we do definitely need to clear 43.50. Why is this? Oh, that's the wrong chart. Here we go. Oh yeah, that was definitely the wrong chart. 43.10, 43.20 was the original zone. Then we broke through there. And then if we get underneath 45.50, yeah, I was looking at this zone through the bottom, and now we broke through the top. Here we go, 45.50 would be the marker that I would look for to the downside. Just be aware, like I said, 43.10, 43.20, that's gonna hold as support through the bottom. So expect some support coming in at 44.50, and then obviously the 43.10 going on down towards the lows underneath 43 even. Of course, if you get that breakout to the upside, that's the other side of this trade, right? 47 even on the break to the upside would give you a potential expansion after a run-up / consolidation. So that's one of those things you do have to keep an eye on. Fastly up 5.5% on the day, more than 5.5% on the day, and does look like it may take another leg up if we can get above 47.
I really like Fastly. I think that's going to be a good investment long term. We'll do some more work on that and talk about some more longer term plays in the next couple shows. Okay, BBIG, it's starting to get going here. So Vinco Ventures starting to go. This is going to be the trade of the day here today. We made a mess of it early. I mean, not really. I mean, what we did was we drew some. Oh, in the trade of the day, I didn't even show this part. Oh, darn it. We forgot to go all the way back on the trade of the day. So the video is going to miss a little bit here on this 750 break all the way up to 850. That's a smooth dollar there. But what we were really playing was these pre-market levels, and we got bounced around a little bit. We were playing the short initially, and then we had to play the long when it broke there, and then that was a great trade, man. We actually got long on the halt price right there about 950, the very first halt, and then it just ripped upside, and we were able to catch it out at 1150. So that's about a $2 winner there on the end of that trade. And then we tried to defend it again at 10. It broke 10, and we got out at 975. We haven't made any trades since, and then the one I'm looking for now is this right here. It's coming up, 925 break. So if we can break through 925, we are. Here comes right now. We are going to get long on BBIG, and then we'll see what happens from that point, man. BBIG breaking through 925, we're going to get that long. AMC, unfortunately, it only goes as high as 30 there. We're long at 14s. So as Neil would have said, that's looking a gift horse in the mouth. But again, I don't know what that means because every winner, therefore, would be that. But we are not going to worry about that. 44.30 to the upside right there. Someone said I want to kick the computer in the mouth, or I said that. I think I need a thing for that. Okay, there goes BBIG right now. 927 is where we're long. So let's get locked and loaded now with BBIG. Not a big position. This is not a position like I would have in the morning on this stock, okay? We're just going to play the end of the day. And yesterday I played this, damn it. We played this break yesterday. I don't know if you remember that, but it broke through 730. We were able to run this to the upside, eventually 860. I think it was one of these breaks as well that we were playing on this consolidation, and we hit that yesterday. So let's see if we can't rinse and repeat. I said we'd run it back, man. So let's run this back. See if we can get a little bit more wins on this up to 950 first part. We won't be too greedy, Arun. We'll take about 20 cents if we can on the first. Here it goes. Let's go, BBIG. We're running it back, and we'll see if we can get out 927. We're long. Hey, look, it's only in the money 10 cents. We're going to look for 950, and then we'll hold the rest for the upside.
Yeah, BBIG, that's obviously a hot name, moving strong right now. What do you got, Sean?
Nothing, just took some out there, 945.
There you go, 945. Sean making about 17, 18 cents on the BBIG long. He's taking it into the end of the day. And just because Neil's not here, there you go, guys. For anyone who's looking for a gift horse, there you go, right in the mouth. It's funny, there was somebody in the chat that did explain the term, and they said that the reason it's like that is because you can tell a horse's age by its teeth. And so when you're given a gift, a horse, you don't
you're gifted a horse.
It's disrespectful to look at its mouth. Whether that's true or not, that's something we do need to look into. But that was something that was put in the chat. I think it was yesterday or so. Someone explaining that term.
Oh, that makes sense. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that sounds about right. I think we'll go with it. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. And Disney. Oh man, Disney does not want to get above 184 and change. So we may end up taking a hit on Disney. We'll wait for the imbalance. We got about 10, 15 minutes before the imbalance, 15 minutes and change before the imbalance comes out. If we can get above 184 before the imbalance comes out, as soon as the imbalance comes out, if it comes out positive, I'm gonna let it go. If it comes out negative, I'm out. If it stays below 184, I'll just let the stop take it out. So I don't want to get too into micromanaging this at this point. It doesn't look like it's 25 cents out. I'm probably going to have to end up taking a hit on Disney at the moment. But for now, that's it. Disney on the buy side, that's out of the money. Obviously, you have the FCUVs and the BBIGs that are going late into the day. And something, again, thank you for the chat. Didi. We looked at Didi was one of those stocks that has been looked at on this show quite often. Not necessarily by me, but these guys have traded it often in the past. And Didi made quite the move today. It's up 12.5%. It went up, started finding resistance around that 920 area, and then starting finding support below 9, and then when it started going sideways, and now here we are breaking into the upside. So this allows you to kind of start developing a zone to work with for another day. Am I going to take a breakout trade this late in the day? Absolutely not. This is not going to be my cup of tea. There's no way I would do that. this late in the day with an imbalance coming out soon. So we're going to stay away from it, but I will mark this off. Again, some of these trades I will mark off for another day. You saw me with SAVA, you saw me with Fastly, Moderna as well. Moderna was quite the mover. NEO, oh man, NEO was one of those trades we were looking on the short side of NEO up to a certain point, and then it was a matter of spinning the trade around as soon as that level was broken or that area was gone. It was 820 was the level where I was looking at potentially kind of spinning this trade around, and we never got a chance to. This is not DD. What was it?
What are you looking for?
What stock was it talking about? NEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, NEO was the one I was talking about.
I hate NEO, by the way, although we made a lot of money on NEO. But we, unfortunately, this morning, we did have that break. And again, it's all on the watch list. Sorry, it's on the sticky note. You guys want to watch, have a look at that, you can. But we initially wanted to short in NIO, and then because it was down 4%, 5% if you remember correctly. And then we looked at the chart and was like, wait a second, this is way overdone. And then, we take this break, the high break of the pre-market, 37.75, Arun, and we wound up getting out at 38.22 for 50 cents, and then. Okay, so this is 37.75. Then it goes to 39.90. So that's about a $2 winner there that we left a whole bunch of money on the table, but we did take some profit there. It was an early trade. And again, I spend too much time watching this guy here, the NASDAQ. So when that starts fading out, I'm like, oh my God, NEO's going to retrace back in, but no, it does not. And it continues to pop up. So, hey, look, man, I've been trading now, I don't want to say it, yeah, but 19 years. And, some things are going to happen. And I even myself, I even talked to Arun, like, how can I hold these things? And it's like, you just got to play off some technical levels and then understand what you're trading. And, hopefully I have to realize that NEO does have the potential to do this, but I didn't think it would do that, especially when I look at the NASDAQ here. And I always look at leading indicators. And, when it's not happening anything, I'm always expecting that it's going to come back in. And unfortunately, right there, we take 50 cents and leave about $1.50 on that table. But right now, BBIG, guys, starting to go back to the upside. It just took out some levels there. Just took out 50, it went up to 58, 59 there. That's right here. My offer is actually at 64, so we just missed it again by about like I don't know, what is it, a dime? Did we miss it by? What was that high there? 56, so we missed it by 8 cents. We had an offer just sitting right there for BBIG, so hopefully that can break through 950 again, and we'll take that. But hey, either way, man, the BBIG money is in the building right now, and we take that. Let's go. Like, we're just gonna go 1 for 1 here on BBIG, hopefully, anyways, and it's gonna come back upside. I'm debating just taking this out for 30 cents right now and celebrating that, but we're sitting there at the 60s. We'll see if we can take it out. Break this, break yourself. Up to 54, 55. Hopefully we can do that, but look, it looks like we're stopping out, so let's change our stop on that, Arun, and get it to 955 or so, as it looks like we're having a problem with that 64 level.
Yeah, I'd expect some trouble around that.
Here comes 64s.
Yeah, there you go, 60s. Brandon, what's up?
Highcroft Mining Holding Corporation. Looks like a little tiny miner just popping up here, guys. I'll double check on this one, but big volume pushing up HYMC currently.
There goes BBIG, 964, hitting resistance.
Where's
and
paper
looks like
hands?
there's going to be some acceleration towards 980 into 10. So we'll see how that goes. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, everything's cool, but BBIG there, we took 60s because I was like, hey, you know what, maybe it's going to bounce off 60 a couple times. I mean, it did that right in front of our face, and now it's up to 70. But anyway, it doesn't matter, man. I could care less. I mean, that's not true. I just want to say thank you to everybody who has this trade as well, because there goes BBIG. I'm just glad that I was able to give you guys that trade there on BBIG, because there it was, man. I mean, we talked about that one time. And I'm going to read the chat. I'm going to see what you guys are talking about. I'm going to try to analyze it the best that I can. And there we go, man. BBIG. Let's just, give a hell yeah in the chat if you have this trade or if you like that setup there, because right now, man, I'm pretty happy with it. We're stacking up the cash there. Congratulations, anybody that had that BBIG. A good one, man. A good one to the upside there. What am I supposed to do? I mean, the first half is out there. The second half is out there. We'll take the winner. It's near the end of the day. All we're doing is stacking that cash. So there we go. Thank you so much to everybody. Nicole Robinson, everybody in there. Jason, Nicole, Lone, everybody. Jacqueline, I can't even see you. Daniel, hell yeah. Everybody in there. They're loving that, Arun. So good. I'm glad that some of you at least have that trade on board and at least made a little bit of cash on that. So I took BBI. Oh, Daryl. Yo, what up, Daryl? Let's give a cheer. Can you hear that? There it is. Yeah, it's very, very faint. There's a cheer. What's up, Daryl? We like Daryl. I took BBIG out too early. Okay, good. Oh, you got 950. Okay, whatever. That's a big win anyways. We'll take that. Thank you, Daryl. You guys might know Daryl. He's been on the show a couple times. That's why we do that shout out. I'll give shout outs to everybody if I can see it. But here we go, man. Good trade. Way to end the day off right there as BBIG making moves to the upside. We're light in AMC, but it doesn't look like it wants to do anything. We will check those imbalances when they come out, but that's a good trade, man. Big BBIG 1 hour chart. Okay, I see that from the game streamer. We'll have longer looks there, man. Yeah, Jacqueline, good job for you today, having a big day. We're positive. We've confirmed that with Arun. I was getting pissed off in the afternoon, and then Greg said, "Oh, why is Sean cursing under his breath?" And I was like, you know what? I hate basically coming to work, and I don't work for free, but I don't like having a negative day on board. And now today will be positive, obviously, so unless I screw something up here coming into the close. But a good day so far, knock on wood, you shouldn't do that, but we are positive, and it's actually turning out to be a decent day, so thank God for that. And then, oh, you know what? Let's review the ABV trade just real quickly here before we go. This was my bid. These are real trades, man. All we did was we let this fall down. When it went back up, started to get my attention, just showed up on the screeners, right? And then all of a sudden, it just came crashing back down. And then this is not, for me, it's not rocket science. I just use, and I put on a decent amount of shares too, so that's part of the reason why we're back to positive. I wish this would have happened in the show, because we would have been able to show you this and then celebrate this win together. But basically, we just use this 105, oh, that's the 105 right there, 106 break as the bottom. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take 107s, look at the room it has to go back to the upside there on ABV, and then all of a sudden, it just started exploding to the upside, as if like where we bought it was like, okay. So then it starts to go up. We instantly take the 70 cents. Then we take about $1.50. We stops and goes a little bit there, another $1.50. All the way up to 112, that's $5 there. And then Arun and I were like, hey, where do we get out? Where do we get out? I chose this break of VWAP, which also happened to be 111.65 or so. So we took it out, and now you're seeing where it is. Looks like a good out for us, guys, back down to 110. But ABV is basically the story that brought me back to positive land.
There you go. He's doing well with that ABV. He did really well with that ABV trade, because I didn't see that trade until we broke 111. So sometimes some people have different strengths, right? Mine is more so for read breaks. His is the ability to catch bottoms and tops, which he does really well. So there you go, 4-point advantage for him on that ABV long. But we both made money on it, right? So there are different ways to do it, guys. Futures, let's talk quickly about futures, because this is where I make my money most of the time. It's been fairly quiet though. I mean, I guess it's not surprising, it's August. We tend to go quiet. I think this week so far, we're 3 days in? I've made one trade on the futures. That was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning off that long, or the early morning short is where I made my money. Today I haven't done a whole lot. There's been a couple potential trades, but not a whole lot in terms of actual solid reads and action. Here, we're still sitting in this support zone with some resistance now coming in from above. So 45.30 now down at 45.28. So there is some downward pressure going into the imbalances. The imbalances are going to come out in about 8 minutes or so. Will that move the market? Unless there's a huge imbalance, there's no way that this market's going to care. Given where it's at, I refuse to believe that this market is going to care about these imbalances unless there's a blowout. And I mean,
you refuse to believe it.
There could be. You never know. You could always be surprised by the market. So let's temper your expectations a little bit, but highly unlikely. Late August, first day of the month, going into a holiday. If we're going to get anything done, it's probably going to be tomorrow, which would be the day before the final day and before we get a jobs report. So end of day tomorrow could be interesting, could provide some volatility, and then expect a jobs report on Friday. I believe that's still on schedule. So jobs report on Friday, 8:30 in the morning, guys. That should be the final volatility event before we go into a long weekend. So just be aware that there's a slide in the futures at the moment. And of course, when the futures slide, of course, Apple's going to go. And of course, since I'm in Disney, I guess Disney's going to go too. You see Apple going to new lows here as the futures are sliding. Here we go, 152.5. I mean, we're all going to go in the same direction. Futures now taking 45.20. So acceleration into the end of the day is it's getting hot now in the futures, or it's getting heavy, and we're coming into support. So how this market's going to react through 20s is going to be interesting. But here we go. In about 6 minutes or so, we're going to have the imbalances come out, and that may change the game. So if there's certain certain stocks that you guys really want to see. We're going to put up the actual full imbalance for the market. But if there's certain names that have been hot today that you feel like you may want to get a handle on, if there's multiple requests for that, I'll just kind of put it up myself and we can share it and see what it looks like.
Let's do that. So right now we'll just take a look at the Canadian imbalances because they came out at 340, sorry. And it's nothing on here. Some of them are dual listed like a Suncor, like an Enbridge, things like that. So if those of you that are trading Canadian names, you might want to look here, but there's nothing. Like Arun and I always say, and he just did a good job talking about the imbalances a little bit there. We're not expecting that much right now. There is a big rebalancing happening on the 17th of September. So that's going to be a big one as well there. So we'll watch out for that. But for right now, yeah, nothing here. So I'm not expecting anything from the U.S. side either. But like you said, we could surprise at some point. Okay, AMC is just dancing. It's doing absolutely nothing. I'm thinking that, I don't know, down 7%. Normally, I don't like holding longs into this. I always think that, these can get accelerated to the north side here. To the south side or whatever side this is. This is plus 6.5. I like to be long at this time of day, but right now we're down and we are long, so this is not a great situation for me, I don't think, anyways. But I'm still going to use this 43.70 as an out. We don't have very many shares on this one. We were expecting a bigger run to the upside, and honestly, 30 cents is worth the risk for me here on this name. We do like to trade AMC, and it's been a big one. So people asking BBIG for a swing trade. I mean, it's done 300 million shares. So it should be up here tomorrow at some point, or else I feel like it would have fallen. I mean, the only risk here, this is a 7-minute chart. The only real risk of this, and I think that, we could be in trouble if it doesn't keep going. But why have we held? Like today, I'm not sure why we held this 870. Like it should have came down, should have came crashing down here. It held it. 870 was yesterday's high and today's bottom. So I think if you're willing to take a risk here of about $1.50, it could be worth it. Just make sure you log in early tomorrow morning and see where this thing is, because it's either going to be, it could be up here at 12, 13, 14, which I would probably get out at, or you risk that $60, $70 to the downside. Not from here, it's only $1 from here, but again, if we crack that, then I think you're going to have to talk to $8. Like you're going to have to talk like $7.50, $8. So I think that the ultimate risk in this trade, I believe, is $2. So if that's something that's worth it for you guys, then you should do that. But if you look at a daily chart here, just like I called space yesterday, back to the downside, I have to look before I talk about it. But BBIG here, as you can see, it's high of all time basically. And again, it's going to be a SPAC, right? Vinco Ventures is $12 right there. That happened today. So that was pre-market. So watch out for that. I don't even know if that happened actually. That's where we're quoting it, but who knows? So the high before today was only $9.90. So that's right where we are. So be very, very careful on that for a swing trade. Let's check out Virgin Galactic. We called that the other day. Thought that yesterday's move was a little bit overdone. And then today we're coming back in just a little bit, down that 1%. So I didn't have a problem calling that short for you guys in today. But for right now, I don't really see anything. There are a few things on earnings. We talked about Chewy and whatnot. That daily chart's not super sweet either for a setup, but we'll wait on all of these and see what happens tomorrow. But right now we've got Wish long, which is now against me a penny. We've already crushed Wish today a little bit. And here, bang, 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 that's 20, 40, 60, 80%. We're holding our last 20% and we're right where we're in. So, I think this is okay. Let's see if it gets a little bit of a bump into the close. Otherwise, we're going to get this out for flat. So I'm going to sit right here, man, 48, 49. If it wants to bounce back up, we'll finish the day with a nice little Wish, putting that money back in our pocket.
Anybody who wants to take a shot, hey guys, BGFV taking off here. It's up $1.50 in the last little bit. It is thin. It's done 4 million shares. It wants to go. So anybody who wants excitement, who hasn't made enough money today, if you want to play the game, there you go. I'm giving you a list, a name right there. I've also put some stocks here in the list that I was going to give for your imbalances here. I've got, for now, these are the names. We haven't got the update, so this is not. This is incomplete. But in about 2 minutes or so, in about a minute or so, we're going to get an update from. We're going to get our actual feed coming in with the imbalances. So this may provide some opportunity to catch a bid here if you can actually not to catch a bid, but catch a potential trade if the imbalances come out a certain way. Keep in mind, I'm also keeping a close eye on Disney because that's about to get me out. I'm trying to work away from Disney, but it all depends on how the imbalance comes out. Actually, let me put the Disney chart out there, the Disney imbalance, out there, so I can actually see how that imbalance comes out. Because if it comes out negative, I don't want to be a part of this. I think it's not worth the effort at that point. So for now, we're going to wait for the imbalance, and anybody who wants excitement going into the end of the day, there you go, BGFV waiting to take out that 30, well, it's already taken out that 32, but it is waiting to play that game up there and see if this holds. If this holds into the end of the day, this could be something to keep an eye on for tomorrow, guys.
All right, so I'm averaging in here to AMC with only a couple seconds left here. We're going to take one more shot on this name here. We took a 95, so now you can see my average price. This is how you know we're pretty light, man. We just basically, you know, if we have 1,000 shares right here, we just bought 500 more. So we're just very, very light here on AMC, and we'll see where we go now to the upside with only 8 seconds to go. Here comes the New York, oops, that's the Toronto imbalances. Here come the New York imbalances with the NASDAQ as well. We'll check out what's going to happen here in about a second. So there it is. EDU, Apple with a sell, Arun. So we can watch to see where this one wants to go. Probably already starting to head a little bit south side. Yeah, there's not much happening. We'll see if it can extend bottom now. Apple with the sell side. PSTG, I think you're talking about that. Microsoft's there as well. Intel, there's AbbVie with a bid. Other than that, I mean, EDU's a big one, but into that, 105 million. I'm not sure that's going to do anything today, but so far, so good, I guess. Nothing. Pfizer with a bid as well. That should make the market move a little bit, but other than that, we don't do anything. I don't even see AMC on here, so it looks like that'll be a nothing burger for us on AMC as it's just hovering around now down to 89s. I mean, my out's going to be a break of 70. So if we lose on this one, we lose on this one. We made a lot more on BBIG there. And I'm glad that you guys took this with me as well to the upside. So far, so good on the closing show. I just wish AMC would go up a little bit.
Yeah, so anyone wondering for imbalances, we had 1.6 million shares on Apple to the sell side. AMC has 200,000.
Oh, you saw that, okay.
And Disney has 45,000. So to the sell side. So I obviously got to take care of Disney at this point because I'm not going to get any help from the imbalances at all for the end of the day. So we just got to do some, I guess, damage control at this point. And I'm going to see if I can grab some mid to high 60s on the exit for Disney and take some exits there. But let's take a quick look at Apple because the market did slide. Looks like yep. So Apple leading the market lower because there was a snap to the downside as soon as those imbalances came out. Looks like Apple was the big sell there with 1.5 million shares. And here we are trading 152 and a half and change. We are still working with support, so somewhat still at support. But if we can actually get that move to extend down through 152, you might see an acceleration to the downside, especially with the market sitting where it's at. It's either going to go right through into 20s into support, or it's going to snap right back up. So we're at an interesting spot right now. It's just a matter of waiting to see whether we can actually get going, because I think we had a chance to get going at 24. The fact that we couldn't kind of kills the game a little bit, at least going into the end of the day. It's also the first day of the month, so you may have some programs that need to take care of some action going into the final minutes of the day. So there might be some volatility at the last few minutes, maybe like 1, 2, 3 minutes into the end of the day as I don't want to say final quarter, but at least September gets started. There may be some adjustments that need to be made. And there you go, guys. I just closed up Disney in the high to mid 60s on Disney. So we walk away from that trade. We are flat, and that's it. I'm done. We were pretty good right up until we took that hit on Square. Square was one of those trades that kind of screwed us over. And so slightly negative on the day, all because of one trade. But hey, that's how trading goes. We've been fairly good so far, and it's about time, losses come. So it's about time, I think, losses were coming in our direction. And I'm just going to quickly take a look at BGFV. Okay, we're stalling out at 31.50 with a 32 high. Remember, keep an eye on this for tomorrow just to see how this is going to trade. If this falls off, well, I think this move could be in for a rude awakening, anyone who chose to go long. But if this holds this area, 31.5, 32, you may see an extension going into tomorrow.
That's right. I just want to say someone here is 100% right. 1.2 million, I think, on WFC with a 4 billion float, so a nothing burger, 100%. That's exactly how you need to look at it. You can also look at the day's trade volume as well to find out if 1.4 million is anything into that. So there's some talk on the chat here about Chargepoint, so let's do that quickly with only a couple minutes left. They're going to report aftermarket close today, so again, not doing too much. Good volume today, 10 million shares, so it's not being ignored. And this is kind of setting up here. Again, it's not great. here, but the volatility on this report could be quite large. Now, I don't know if this was last report. No, that would have been June. Yeah, this could have been, like, I'm not sure what the reporting date was in here, but you could see, man, this is $36 all the way down to $21.22, meaning that if their report is any good, you're going to get this level taken out right here tomorrow. So they're going to take out 23 and then probably run into the middle here, 24.50. So if Chargepoint is good, I think you got a lot of upside on this name. And then the downside, again, if you like the name, I think you can hold it. And I don't think it, I mean, how many times bought? Like we've got bought up here, man, like $19, $20. So either someone's pretty happy with this $20 price, it just keeps getting bought up here, you know, so I think it's maybe worth the risk, especially here, buying a couple common shares if you wanted to, 21.50, so like wherever it closes right now, 21.25, and I think your downside risk, I mean, unless there's something crazy happens, I really don't think we go that far down. So I don't mind Chargepoint here for a long into tomorrow's open, and we'll just see where it happens. Don't panic. We'll see if we can get a nice close on that thing. And then when the report comes out after market, see if your broker allows aftermarket trading, because if it does spike up here into the 24 area, to me, that would be a good out for you. Brendan, with only 4 minutes left.
Yeah, a couple more to talk about as well. In addition to that Chargepoint, you'll see a few other notable names on here coming up after market and before the open tomorrow.
All right, guys, as we got the update from the floor, 355 provides an update to the imbalances. You saw the market take another leg to the downside. You see a lot of these big names, Facebook specifically, Disney, Apple itself is just one of those things where they're starting to accelerate going on down. So we are getting some sell side pressure going into the close, going into the final few minutes. So just be aware that there may be some sell programs that are running as we get closer and closer to 4 o'clock.
Okay, so the biggest one, yeah, I mean, obviously my AMC, I'm just going to have to take that out at some point. It doesn't look like it wants to do anything. So there you go. See, like I change it to C3AI and the chart doesn't change. And of course, IT's not here for me to show them that. Okay, so here we go. It's not even IT, it's programmers for the software. Okay, C3AI, look, this is the name that I'm most excited about, just because like this reminds me of Fastly. A lot of these stocks here as you go. C3AI, a very, very big company and a recent addition to the market, right? So when there's a lot of money to be thrown around and people feel like it's the next biggest thing, it has no problem to run up, right? 170, 180. I mean, if you weren't long and didn't get out up here when that happened, then you're probably stuck and you're maybe even averaged in all the way down here. The thing is, we've already bounced off 43. We're now taking out the 50 period rate here as well. So C3AI into tomorrow, again, with these companies, it's going to take a couple upgrades. If they could somehow produce good earnings, and again, like we don't have, I don't have this insider information. I don't wish I did, because then if I'd be giving it out, then I'd be in a problem. But taking some of this stuff out here, 54. I mean, this looks good to me on a daily chart. It bounced off. We made some bottoms. Big volume today, the day before earnings. Big volume into the buy side, up 3%. Big volume. Up 3% into earnings, coming off recent lows, trying to break out of this area. C3AI is going to be my call for a chicken dinner winner. Now, if you take this, I have to give you, you could either be eating lobster tomorrow or you may be eating chicken, which is fine because chicken is very, very tasty. So as long as it's prepared okay, I think you can have a win here with C3AI. I don't own the stock. I'm not in the stock. So I don't have any sort of, maybe we should, I wonder if we should always say that. So you guys know that, there's really nothing behind some of this other than chart reading. And then, we did build these bottoms. Like, if there was thought of them missing, I really think it wouldn't be up 3% today into a NASDAQ that's barely up. So we'll see about C3AI. I like that, and I don't mind Chargepoint.
Yep, and somebody was mentioning, I was just looking at the imbalances. There was a 4 million share buy imbalance on EDU. Right? It's a $2.35 stock that has done 108 million shares. So if anybody wants to get involved in that, just be aware there is 4 million to the buy side. And LUMN has now come up with a 1.4 million share sell side imbalance, which is fairly interesting, I would say, on LUMN, because that was a late entrance. What is going on here?
Who knows?
What time is it?
Probably Rob.
Rob, we're still 90 minutes away, man. Come on now.
Wow, wait.
We are not closed. We still have a minute before we close. LUMN on the sell side.
Honestly?
LUMN on the sell side here. Well, sell side imbalance, 1.3
Tight
million
rope,
shares,
Rob, tight rope.
down 1.83% at the moment. It looks like we're taking 1205. It's done 12 million shares on the day, so you're looking at about 10% of the float or so going into the end of the day. But you see this, it's still on the sell side. They've paired 1.4 million shares. And Sean, you want to take us into the end here? We got about 45 seconds.
Yeah, sure, we do it there. Oh, he hit it with his head. That's the problem. So he ran by it, didn't see it, and hit it with his head. That's what we'll go with anyways for now. I don't know if that's the truth or not. We did get out of our AMC here. I was just getting ready to close that one off. AMC really not doing anything, so we're going to wait to see if we can get it last. Oh, we just got out, so there it goes. That would have been the breaker 19 on that for AMC. So yeah, with only a few seconds left, we'll see what happens, but we're getting ready to close this day out. Oh, crap, I don't have the 10-second thing there. Who's running the bell? You might have to count this down. There we go. Hit the 10 seconds now, but we're only 5 seconds away.
3, 2, 1. Ring it, Rob. There you go.
There we go. See, he had the sunglasses on, so he didn't see the bell when it eventually hit his head. So, okay, good job on that one. Thank you, Rob, for all of that. It was a good show after all. You know, unfortunately, that AMC trade didn't work out for us at the end, but we were just trying to moon that stock there. So well worth the 70 cent or 30 cent worth of risk there on AMC. We wind up losing that one. So a positive day all around. So we're starting September with a check mark. It's not the biggest victory that we've ever had, but we are starting it off well, and we're very, very happy with this day. Any green day is a good day, Brendan.
Green days are the best days, and we need lots of them. Let's go have a look at how the markets ended. Only the Dow negative there, 0.15 to the downside. Basically flat for the S&P, the NASDAQ about 0.18 to the upside. I'll direct your attention down here because, wow, 9.5% for Ethereum today, guys.
Hell yeah, we're loving Ethereum, we're loving ADA, we're loving everything crypto. So it's nice to see that some of the markets battle back a little bit today, including the NASDAQ. Good job. I thought maybe we'd be in trouble after yesterday, but it doesn't appear that we are at all. So I'm going to give a big shout out, of course, to Rob. Lucas only. No, we'll give it to Rob as well. We're actually going to be missing Rob for a little bit, so thank you, Rob. We always enjoy your energy, that's for sure. So a big thank you to Rob and to Lucas. Big thank you to Miss V as well over there on the ones and twos in her spot for memes and movers. It's in the dark. Ooh, mysterious Miss V. There she is. What's up, Miss V? We are going to have Vinco Ventures for your trade of the day, so that's coming up next. And so stay tuned for that. Arun, you're back tomorrow, correct?
I am back tomorrow.
I hope so, or it's me by myself. So Arun's going to be joining us tomorrow. Thank you to Arun. It's Captain America over here. What was it? The first day I think it was Superman. What was it yesterday? Do you remember? Spider-Man?
No, I'm just alternating.
You're just alternating. You're alternating.
Yeah, we'll have another superhero on Friday.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Not tomorrow. Okay, so we're gonna bypass that. We're gonna go superhero on Friday, and we're having lots of fun. So it's 4:02. It's Trade of the Day coming up soon. Have a great evening. We will catch you tomorrow. Thank you, Brendan. Thank you, Arun. See you tomorrow, guys.
Bye, guys.